before the world understood what had happened, before cities vanished in a flash of blinding light, before the word nuclear became synonymous with extinction, there was secrecy, silence, and fear. Deep beneath deserts, inside guarded laboratories, and behind doors marked with warnings instead of names, the United States was building something the world had never seen before, something so powerful that it would not merely end a war, but permanently alter the future of humanity. This is the story of the Manhattan Project, not just a creation of the atomic bomb, but the moment when science crossed a line from which there would be no return. In the early years of World War II, the United States did not yet possess the most terrifying weapon on Earth, but it possessed something just as dangerous: knowledge. Physicists around the world had begun to understand that splitting the atom could release unimaginable energy. In Europe, some of the greatest scientific minds had already fallen under Nazi control or fled in fear. Among them were scientists who knew one chilling truth: if Adolf Hitler obtained an atomic bomb first, the war would not simply be lost. Civilization itself could end. That fear reached American shores in 1939, when Albert Einstein signed a letter warning President Franklin D. Roosevelt that Nazi Germany might be developing a nuclear weapon. That single letter ignited a chain reaction that would change history. At first, the effort was small, cautious, almost experimental. But as the war intensified, so did the urgency. By 1942, the United States committed fully to the project, launching the most ambitious scientific undertaking ever attempted. It was called the Manhattan Project, a name so ordinary it concealed the extraordinary. Tens of thousands of people were recruited, yet almost none of them knew what they were truly working on. Entire cities were built in secrecy, hidden in places like Los Alamos, New Mexico, Oak Ridge, Tennessee, and Hanford, Washington. Workers arrived blindfolded, letters were censored, and families lived under constant surveillance. Secrecy was absolute, because even a single leak could change the balance of the war. At the heart of the project was an unprecedented collaboration between science and the military. Physicists, chemists, engineers, and mathematicians worked alongside generals and intelligence officers. The project was led by General Leslie Groves, a man obsessed with speed and security, and guided scientifically by J. Robert Oppenheimer, a brilliant and deeply conflicted physicist who understood better than anyone the power he was helping to unleash. What they were attempting had never been done before: to control a nuclear chain reaction, to split atoms at will, and to turn pure energy into a weapon. The challenges were enormous. Scientists had to determine which material could even make such a bomb possible. Two candidates emerged: uranium-235 and plutonium. Both were incredibly rare, unstable, and difficult to produce. Entire industrial complexes were constructed just to separate isotopes or breed plutonium in nuclear reactors. These facilities consumed massive amounts of electricity, resources, and manpower, all while racing against time. Failure was not an option. Every delay meant the possibility that the enemy might succeed first. As the war dragged on, the pressure intensified. By 1944, the project had reached a terrifying milestone. The bomb was no longer theoretical. It was becoming real. Scientists now faced a question that went beyond physics. They knew the weapon would work, but should it be used? Some believed the bomb could end the war instantly and save countless lives. Others feared it would open a door humanity could never close. These debates echoed through laboratories late at night, whispered in hallways, and buried beneath official orders. Ultimately, the decision would not belong to the scientists. On July 16, 1945, in the New Mexico desert, the world crossed a threshold. At 5:29 a.m., the first atomic bomb was detonated in a test known as Trinity. The explosion was unlike anything ever witnessed. The desert turned to glass. A fireball brighter than the sun rose into the sky. Shockwaves ripped across the landscape. Even those who had built the bomb stood in stunned silence, realizing they had unleashed a force that rivaled nature itself. Oppenheimer later recalled words from ancient scripture: "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." In that moment, the atomic age began. Less than a month later, the weapon was no longer a test. On August 6, 1945, an American B-29 bomber dropped an atomic bomb on Hiroshima. In seconds, the city was annihilated. Tens of thousands were killed instantly. Many more would die slowly from burns, radiation, and injuries no one yet understood. 3 days later, a second bomb fell on Nagasaki. Japan surrendered shortly after. World War II was over. But the victory came at a cost, so profound that the meaning of war itself was forever changed. The Manhattan Project had succeeded beyond all expectations. It ended the deadliest war in human history. But it also created a new reality, one in which humanity now possessed the power to destroy itself completely. The bomb did not simply end a conflict. It reshaped global politics, military strategy, and human fear. The Cold War was born almost immediately, defined by nuclear deterrence and the terrifying balance of mutually assured destruction. For the first time, peace depended not on trust, but on the threat of annihilation. For the scientists who built the bomb, the aftermath was deeply personal. Some defended their work as necessary. Others were haunted by guilt. Oppenheimer himself would later oppose nuclear proliferation, only to be politically destroyed for it. Many scientists spent the rest of their lives warning the world about the dangers of the very weapon they helped create. The Manhattan Project had proven that science can move faster than morality, and that once knowledge exists, it cannot be undone. Yet the legacy of the Manhattan Project is not only destruction. The same research that created the bomb also led to nuclear energy, medical imaging, cancer treatments, and advances in physics that shaped the modern world. Like all powerful technologies, it carried both promise and peril. It revealed the true nature of human innovation, capable of saving millions or ending everything. The Manhattan Project was not just a military program. It was a turning point in human history. It forced humanity to confront a terrifying truth, that intelligence, when combined with fear and urgency, can produce wonders and horrors in equal measure. The question it left behind still haunts us today. Now that we have the power to destroy the world, do we also have the wisdom to protect it? The war ended in 1945, but the shadow of the atomic bomb has never faded. And as long as it exists, the legacy of the Manhattan Project will remain not just as a weapon of war, but as a mirror reflecting the limits of human responsibility. Thanks for watching.